el crujido de mis huesos. El crujido de mis huesos lo ignoro por completo, porque aún sé soñar, sé añorar, sé amar. Lo ignoro por completo, porque ya en lontananza percibo la luz, la esperanza de un mundo desconocido, anhelado, soñado. El crujido de mis huesos viejos, cansados, se ignora, se olvida. Es el pase ineludible a esa luz imán que se percibe ya en la distancia, que casi se busca, que casi se anhela, que ya casi se espera. I completely ignore the creaking of my bones because I know how to dream, how to mourn, how to love. I ignore them completely because in the distance I perceive the light, the hope, an unknown world longed for, dreamed of. The creaking of my old and tired bones is ignored, is forgotten. It is the inescapable passageway to that captivating light, seen now in the distance, looked for, longed for, almost embraced.
My mom's mom was always sick. She had leukemia for 12 years, and she died when I was a boy. I was probably in 4th grade, and so I never knew her well. And so my mom was always, I think, in one sense, in that time of my life, always grieving for her mother. And so this is a poem entitled Teresa. She was dying that windy spring, that woman with braids as thick as her arms, that old woman whose knees were wasted with kneeling before statues who had memorized the sounds of her whispers. She was dying that windy spring. She outlived a husband, remarried. The second was a drunk who knew how to make adobes, fashioned them like pots from the earth, who knew the secret to giving her sons and daughters, who knew nothing of love in old age, knew nothing of women. She was dying that windy spring, that woman who made shirts, made pants, made dresses and quilts, that old woman who canned jalapenos in vinegar and spices, made tortillas on an old stove, burning with smells of mesquite the year round, like an eternal flame of work. A maker like her God, a midwife, she delivered her daughter's children. Her hands, twisted like the roots of her herbs, felt as soft as the cotton she picked as a girl. She smelled of old prayer books, smelled of old churches, wax candles that burned into night. Her room knew no darkness. For 12 years, leukemia courted her as she dreamed while her husband moved to another bed. Her back never bent in her sickness. Her rooms knew no darkness. In her 70s that spring, that windy spring, she was dying, that woman who was mother to my mother. And my mother howled to the empty New Mexico skies, "No te lleves a mi mamá, no te la lleves." That windy spring, that evening, the sun was as red as the autumn chili she dried on her roof.
Bueno, ahí voy, coming, aquí voy, espérense, wait, hold on, espérense, ahí voy, bueno, Jessie, hello, what you want? Survey? Oh, sure, ay, good, el survey, yo te contesto contesto todas las preguntas. Let me turn up the beans first para que no se me quema. Es gente que siempre viene a la hora de la comida, no sé por qué sería. Porque no comen o porque no trabajan, quién sabe. Okay, mijita, what you want? Survey. My name? Oh, sí, yo tengo name. My name is María Francisca Vaca González Montoya de Luján para servirle. What? You want to know which is last name? Todos, mijita, todos, all of them are last name. Vaca, that was my father. González, that was my mother. Montoya era mi gramo, era una familia muy importante. Tú no conoces los Montoya. Oh, you don't speak Spanish. En Luján, I was my husband, pobrecito, que descanse en paz. They don't fit on your line. Pero mira, escríbelo chiquito, chiquitito, así, mira. Little, you write little, fit on your line. Ahí va. María Francisca Vaca, con B de burro. González, you have to put her in. You know, put her in and not put me in. She my mother. She no here, I know here. You know, understand. You know what her you want me, you put her into. Good, keep going. Montoya. Sí, una familia tan importante que su El hogar, because you have to respect the dead. Pobrecito. Good, I'm glad I helped you. Está bueno, ya te vas. No? More questions? ¿Qué? Born? Of course I was born. Oh, how old? Que 91. Sí. ¿Y qué? Occupation. ¿Qué hago? Mi hijita, what I do? I raise 6 children, 20 grandchildren, and a whole bunch of great-grandchildren también. Yeah. Y las cosas de la casa, la limpieza, you don't speak Spanish, I know. Bueno, nomás ponle que los house things, house stuffs, houseworks, eso. Sí. Ajá. Y también la pizca, pero I don't know how to say in English. Is the pig? I don't know how to say it. Like houseworks y stuffs y eso. Oh, good, mijita. You have a nice day too. Sí, está bueno. Wait a minute, wait. ¿Qué le pusiste ahí? ¿Cómo que occupation none? Occupation none. No, señorita, está wrong lo que tienes tú ahí. Está muy mal. Mira, I got up at 5 in the morning, every morning on my life, sometimes earlier. Y que moler el chile, amasar las tortillas, y que you don't speak Spanish, yes, I know. I feed the men. I feed the children. I feed the friends, I feed the enemies, I feed everybody. No, señorita, que occupation, que nada, está wrong. Y eso de limpiar la casa también, to houseworks, to house stuffs, to house things, así. They don't finish. I never retired. Someday I die, but I never retire. Y también to raise the children is hard. Job, raising children, you no, ya verás. You got to teach them que was right y que was wrong y cómo portarse como la gente. Sí, how to act like people. Yes. No, mijita, it's wrong what you have there. Y además de eso, es la espalda, this back is all bent over, is por la pizca. The pig, I don't know how to say it. You pick potato, you pick squash, you pick melon, you pick, it's the pig, la pizca. It's why I have buckle bent over like that. No, señorita, so the occupation está wrong. Mira, ponlo aquí, where it say salary. Salary, none. Occupation, mucho.